what is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed, because an interview got
Following her exposure to the league at large by Caitlin Clark, the president of the Indiana Fever is utterly terrified. The criticism is growing more strong every hour, shocking a lot of people.
I'm not joking when I say this. Something's gone weirdly wrong. Like, we literally hired a freaking Chronically Online.
But wait, this goes beyond a single press conference or a widely seen movie. The story is far more complex. I have all the information as well.
I have said before, and I will say it again, Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see.
After the Indiana Fever's front office took a horrible turn, Caitlin Clark supporters are speaking out. All of a sudden, the rookie who has been packing arenas and making the WNBA a must-watch television program is being criticized by her own team president. Indeed, Kelly Krauskopf startled her fan base with a tone-deaf remark. "It is our aim that the Fever would mimic Apple." It sounds like she's referring to Clark by the iPhone case rather than the iPhone itself, which makes it an odd flex. Don't hesitate. The Fever is serious because of Caitlin. Her presence is what keeps the product flying off the shelves and the national cameras running. However, the team's senior executives appear more concerned in minimizing her significance than in recognizing it. The fans didn't like it. Social media users responded negatively to the statement, denouncing it for what it was: blatant contempt. Krauskopf then orchestrated his disappearance for the night. Her previous account disappeared. No excuses, no apologies, just gone. She logged out in the hopes that the heat would go down, as if she realized she had made a mistake. However, it's already too late. Fever fans and the internet never forget.
Yes, Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized. Welcome to it.
When someone deletes their social media accounts during a scandal, you can tell they are under pressure. Kelly Krauskopf, the president of the Fever, made that decision after her now famous Apple remark about the squad went viral, and not in the way she had planned. The public didn't think twice. Supporters of Clark descended like Ike bees on a spilled drink as soon as the video went viral, accusing Krauskopf of attempting to exploit a commercial metaphor to degrade Caitlin Clark, the true driver behind the WNBA's present prominence, to a generic commodity. Crew deleted his old account by Friday night. Just poof without trying to tidy up, explain yourself, or say anything. Furthermore, the impact of that silence was far greater than any PR statement. Fans weren't merely dissatisfied. They were furious. We are referring to season ticket holders and diehard supporters who feel deceived after purchasing Fever gear during underwhelming seasons. The moment they have all been waiting for is being purposefully mishandled by their squad's front staff. Even worse, this followed weeks of silence on Clark's legal treatment. Game after game, referees have thrown her around as though they had forgotten their whistles. Furthermore, her president is no longer able to recognize her worth without bringing up the brand. Please, Krauskopf's flight to the hills was the only thing that validated the supporters' concerns. The Fever's front office started the match, and now it's more than just negative publicity. It's a real trust issue. Next was Sophie Cunningham. Before we start, though, please click like if you believe Caitlin is being singled out on purpose. If you believe the references are merely blind, do leave a comment. Yes, kindly press the subscribe button. From now on, things will only become crazier.
As a ref, I know I would mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just go tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
You know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so.
The self-described bodyguard of Caitlin Clark, the unofficial vice president of Try That on Our Court and You'll Get Dropped, is Sophie Cunningham. The league was simply sparked by her statements. Sophie lost her mind in the first episode of her podcast, Show Me Something. Her unedited monologue was taken directly from a Netflix show. She wasn't just going after rivals either. Everyone was at fault, particularly those who minimized Caitlin Clark's importance to the league. She said, "You're literally dumb. Not once, twice, but 3 times." The video gained popularity on YouTube, X, and TikTok. It's the catchphrase at the moment. Sophie was also fully aware of what she was doing. However, she does more than simply speak. This is the same Sophie who, after Clark's elbow to the face, just body-checked a Connecticut Sun player into a different time zone. She didn't care that she was expelled. "I will stand up for my teammates," she commanded. "Do it." But this is where things become trickier. Sophie did more than simply call out opponents or poor officiating. She began shooting at the Indiana Fever, her own team. She asserts that the locker room is where some of the true contempt for Caitlin originates. Her podcast is being referred to be a declaration of war by certain squad members. It's true that there's been hostility among supporters. The WNBA is not the only league where established professionals and viral hits compete. It's now smoldering in Indiana. Sophie is also not here to show kindness. She wants to blow everything up.
It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the number 1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their number 1 job, is to protect their players.
I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But There's just more.
I understand that to a certain extent, and that's how you're going to handle every rookie who joins the league. But there's just more for her. Let's be honest. On the court, Caitlin Clark is being beaten. The refs said nothing while elbows, body checks, and gouged eyes occurred. In the NBA, there would have been messages, penalties, and breaking news alerts if someone had touched Steph or LeBron in that way. However, after Clark is robbed in the W, the action continues. Consider the Fever versus Liberty game on May 24th. Natasha Cloud Rams Clark is in the middle. During a 2-point game, there seems to be a shoulder-down collision. The referees gazed fixedly. "Are you all serious at this point?" Clark asked silently, raising his palms. Meanwhile, as the buzzer sounds, the Liberty cheer. Sophie Cunningham was unreserved. "Feeling like charred dirt once more," she muttered. For her, there is simply more. She is correct. Avoiding the harsh and loud double standard is becoming more and more difficult. This is targeted disruption rather than strong resistance. Some competitors have even quietly acknowledged the existence of an underlying purpose: make her work hard. However, that's code for breaking her before she becomes too noticeable. And that is precisely what is taking place. Clark, however, is not going to break. The league's upgraded hazing procedure did not involve her. When the referees failed to sound the alarm, she took over. Sophie is using the microphone as if it were her full-time job, slinging shoulders and flames. This goes beyond a few poor decisions. It is starting to become more well-known. To be honest, I'm beginning to suspect a plot. You are aware that this is more than simply a basketball story if you are still here. Watch more than just get in the mix. Then, like, comment, and subscribe to remain up to date. The next development could occur at any moment.
We want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and, we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country and, a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a...
Behind the scenes in Indiana, there is now actual conflict occurring rather than just showmanship, since things are not going well. On the one hand, the businessmen are attempting to shape the Fever into an elegant brand like to Apple. However, this truth is known to athletes, supporters, and even rival coaches. Caitlin Clark is the brand for a while, but this is where the temperature drops. Fever. Things went south when President Kelly Krauskopf made the decision to lessen Clark's power. This is Sophie Cunningham, who lost it with her own supervisors in addition to disagreeing with them. Furthermore, this was not an unplanned emotional outburst that happened during the interview. Not at all. The podcast trade was allegedly prearranged, according to insiders. A planned attack following the president's speech. Sophie did more than simply mock the WNBA. She displayed receipts and called out her own front desk in public. That's not annoyance. Rebellion is what that is. To be honest, it revealed a serious identity crisis inside the franchise. The Fever still wants to establish a dynasty, even if they already have the central point. Additionally, they are behaving as though she is a threat rather than expressing gratitude. The group is now divided. Some people consider Caitlin to be the future. Some people are holding on to historical authority. And you know what? They are not uninformed supporters. Sophie isn't either. Additionally, Krauskopf is not based on that enigmatic deleted previous account. Let's be honest.
You can take a look here.
What the WNBA is doing with Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of the NBA doing this to Michael Jordan in 1986. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are biting the hand that feeds you. Mind you, without...
Twitter would melt if LeBron James were knocked down after being prodded in the eye. The league delivers Caitlin Clark crickets, a crunch and no whistle, yet the Sports Center would run it nonstop. Imagine Steph Curry playing without any protection and getting hammered game after game. Would the NBA simply ignore it? Not at all. However, Caitlin Clark is experiencing precisely that. She is by no means a novice. Because of her, women's basketball is being watched by everyone. Everything revolves around Clark, the ratings, and the crowded stadia. She is the source of revenue. She is also being treated like a benchwarmer in other ways. The best words came from Sophie Cunningham. Not acceptable. At a press conference, Coach Stephanie White criticized the referees for continuously disregarding it. It is visible to the fans.